What's going on? My name is Jason Parks, president of The Media Captain, and today we're going to talk about hiring an SEO company versus keeping it in-house. This is a very popular topic. Just to give you some background on myself, I worked in-house for a car insurance company doing their SEO, and now I of course own an agency. So I have a really unique perspective because I've been in-house, I run an agency. I'm not biased towards the agency side because there are a lot of benefits of keeping it in-house because I've been there before. So I'm going to go into the pros and cons of both, and let's start in-house. So one of the pros is more time. When you have 40 hours in a week and you're dedicated to search engine optimization, that is going to be more time than an agency is going to be able to allocate. Of course, what happens is a lot of times when you're hired in-house, you might get pulled into meetings and then your day gets shorter and shorter. But in theory, when you have more time, there's just more time to execute. And from an SEO standpoint, that can be very important. Moving on, you have a better understanding of the business. So you have access, and this gets overlooked in SEO, how important it is to get a key understanding of the business that you're working on. When I was with the car insurance company, I was able to meet with people in claims, and I was able to meet with key stakeholders within the business to be able to write great content and get good information from an SEO perspective. That can be done on the agency side, but it's harder to set up. And when you're in-house and if you're good at finagling your way around, you can get amazing content. And that also goes to just better access. They go hand in hand. You have better access to the experts internally. So that's just an advantage of in-house. Going on to the agency, and I'm going to go back and forth between the pros and cons of each. So I would say even though the agency in a lot of instances doesn't have as much time, you get the guidance on the strategy. The agency has, whether they work with 20 clients, 50 clients, 100 clients, they have this database of keyword ranking information to really guide you in the right direction. So even if somebody has 40 hours in a week, where they're in the office, if they don't have the right strategy, they could be working hard and not smart. So you want to work smarter, not harder, and that's what an SEO agency can provide. When on the agency side, you're not in the weeds of the business, you're not involved in the day-to-day, so you can have a unique perspective as to what's wrong with the website. You're not going to be as afraid maybe to speak up, and you just offer a unique perspective, which is important. From an accountability standpoint, not that there's not accountability in-house, but with an agency, a lot of times they're working off of a contract, and if they're not performing, see you later. So they're always striving to get good results, and they know that performance is very important. And again, that's not to discredit in-house. I mean, there's definitely accountability, but from what I've seen on both sides, a company is much quicker to cut ties with an agency than fire somebody in-house. The portfolio of work. So when you've just worked on a lot of different accounts, you start to find tricks, you start to know what works, what doesn't work, and that's a benefit of utilizing an agency. The other thing is resources. You have a developer in-house, you have a content specialist, you have a bank of freelance writers. Like there's a lot of resources that an agency provides. And look, when I was in-house for the car insurance company, there were developers in-house, there were great resources, so it completely depends on your situation. But for a lot of small and medium-sized businesses, they just cannot hire like a developer for over $100,000, and whereas an agency might have that developer in-house, which can help from a technical standpoint. Okay, moving on to the cons of an agency. You can be locked into a bad contract. So you got to make sure that you look over your contract. I always recommend getting a 30, 45, or 60-day opt-out in the contract so you're not committed for the long haul if you're not seeing results or if you're not pleased with expectations. So if you're locked into a bad contract, that is a downside of working with an agency. They might not have good practices, or they might be trying to take shortcuts. So one thing I like to ask for an agency is, well, how's your own SEO? Like, have you invested resources into your own SEO? Can you give us at least 3 clients that you've worked with so we can see their performance, and can I talk to those people so I know the type of work you deliver? And if you're looking to work with like a one-man shop, well, if they don't have like 2 people that you can reach out to, that probably should raise a little bit of a red flag. the lack of time. I mean, an agency, they're busy and they're just not going to have as much time as in-house, which I stated earlier. And then there can be a turnover of staff members. Typically with an agency, if your account manager leaves, like the strategy has already been passed on to somebody else within the company. But if you loved your account manager and they left, that stinks, and you have to get someone else working on your account. The cons of in-house is high turnover. Marketing, naturally, there's just a high turnover in the field. So you might spend 6 months to a year training them, getting them familiar with the business, and then they're out the door moving on to another job. Another con is just the overall cost. You have health insurance, you have benefits, and that obviously for a small, medium-sized business, that could be a benefit of going with an agency, is you can actually save on the cost there. And then also just lack of experience. Once again, somebody might say that they know SEO, but if they're giving the wrong guidance on strategy, you can be set back a lot. So anyway, those are the benefits of hiring an SEO company versus keeping it in-house. There's no right or wrong answer. It completely depends on where your business is at. And either the company or the person that you bring on. That makes all the difference. So once again, my name's Jason Parks. For more information, you can visit us at themediacaptain.com.